Peace. You made it. I knew that you could. Welcome to Our Hood and the Real HD Show. This is the show, or these are any other airwaves that we celebrate the good, the bad, the ugly of our people, and we heal it with what? We heal it with what? Freedom music. Freedom music happens 7:30 to 8 o'clock every Monday and Wednesday night that we go on, and we give you mad juice to get loose. You know what I mean? We give you that motivational information, that motivational music, that motivational energy to keep you moving in the right directions. Soulful hip hop, soulful jazz, R&B, blues, you name it, we giving it to you. Spoken word, poetry, all of the rest, you got it on Freedom Music Moment. Also, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Real HD Show because we are on right now. Tell a friend, tell a friend. It's them again with adrenaline, the higher discussion. That's what HD stands for. I'm your host, the Victorious One, and I'm glad to see you here on a hump day. We are nearing toward the winter solstice, so I understand if folks are, otherwise occupied with other things leading up to the moments that make their family special and bringing in the new year. But we here right now. Freedom and liberation is not a to be continued. It is based on what did I contribute? Total package energy. Let's get to it. Powders, gels, teas, waters, anything you need for speed. That 3 to 5 o'clock crash coming. You got a second half to your workday coming. You got to take them kids around to all the sporting events and this, that, and the third. You got a honeydew list. You got to hit that supermarket for the wifey. Don't worry, Total Package Energy got you covered. Melanated company, all natural product, Olympic tested, people approved. TotalPackageEnergy.com. Tell them the Real HD Show sent you. Also, be healthy, fresh food marketer. If you're ever in the RO to the C, that's right, the Rock, New York, you want to go to Be Healthy Fresh Food Markets and increase your life expectancy by getting those fresh fruits, those smoothies, those wraps, those teas, those vitamins, those groceries, everything you might want to be on point with your health game. Go to Be Healthy Fresh Food Markets. Go talk to Nikas or Imhotep. Tell them the Real HD Show and AJ sent you. You won't be mistaken. All right, man. Also, we want to talk about Black House. That's right. My girl Jazz opened up her new spot, new shop, new opportunity to lock in with all of your art and cultural value type of needs. Go to the second floor of 190 Monroe Avenue in Rochester, New York. Tell them the Real HD Show sent you. Get that discount that they promised the show that they would give people if they came there. Now I'm playing, they didn't give a discount. But if you tell them AJ James sent you, you might get the hookup. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? We here, we doing it. We back and better than ever. Sorry we missed on Monday. You know what I mean? Let me put the call letters in the thing. StreamYard was doing some real wonky stuff. StreamYard and all these social media platforms are getting wonkier and wonkier. They're asking for more and more. They want you to be, bow-legged with a kickstand. They want you to be, they want you to have 20/20 vision in one eye and 20/60 in the other. They want you to have O negative, blood type. They got all these stipulations, and it really just flies in the face of, freedom of speech. So, join us whenever that's why it's so important that you turn on your notifications and let us know if you're getting notifications. If you ain't getting your notifications, please hit me up on a Real HD Facebook chat on Facebook. Hit me up on a Real HD chat on Instagram and let me know that you're not getting your notifications. And what I may do is just start collecting mad emails from folks and just emailing you and doing like a MailChimp or something like that and just emailing you guys all of the posts for everything going on in the show. But if you want to get down tonight and jump on a stage with me and chop it up, I got some really interesting points of view You know what I mean? From the G, the B, the U, the good, the bad, the ugly of our folks and what's going on right now in the world around us. StreamYard.com, IZXG, 5KY5S3. It'll be on the bottom of the screen, the lower third, for most of the evening. Y'all make sure y'all get involved. It's the Real HD Show. Also, watch my homegirls, Pam and Lala, on Cleaning Mirrors. That's right, Cleaning Mirrors. It's a podcast, more like a multi-streamed podcast that the two of them do. My homegirls down from the A, they want to do some mental health work with you and raise your expectancy of having better family relations, relationship relations, children, the world. Check out Cleaning Mirrors podcast, because you got to clean your mirror before you can help anyone else. You got to take care of you. Their slogan is reflection of acceptance, embracing you in the mirror. That's right, Cleaning Mirrors. Go check them out. They're on Facebook. I think they're on Instagram. They're on a bunch of channels. Please keyword that in and check them out. But you know what we do after we pay bills? Please give how you live to the Real HD Show for this time of the year of giving. $ the Real HD Show, $ capital THE, capital REAL, capital H, capital D Show. Give. We like the twos and fews, but we rather have the kind that folds and is slidable. So, in other words, be generous to the show. It's how we pay for all of the really, really great programming that we have on the show. And don't forget, you guys check out um, in the bonus. We just did another basketball show, NBA centric basketball show. We do dabble into some street hoops. We do dabble into college. We get into WNBA. For everything that you need for basketball, a hoop show for hoop heads, check out in the bonus, featuring my man's Luck, basketball player Luck, and Av, and myself on the ones and twos. So, if you want to come through and make it do what it do, you know what I mean? Check out in the bonus. Give us a like, a subscribe. It don't cost you nothing. Let's jump into this AAT segment. Let's go. Hey, shout out to DJ Clean down in the DMV area for the hot beat. Appreciate you, little bro. Keep cooking them, keep cooking them. You and my son, y'all get together, y'all work that out, and y'all get yourselves around these countries and push that good music that y'all got. So tonight's segment on AAT report, Aero Aqua Terra, anything under the land, sea, water, or air, we will cover if it makes you healthy. We're gonna show a little bit of a clip, and then by then, hopefully, folks will see the call letters, get in. But it's about those things. It's about how we eat, and we're in that eating season. We're in that comfort food metric of the year. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of folks want that mac and cheese, and they want those crab balls, and they want that turkey and that stuffing and that ham and that hog mog and the greens and the smothered with butter and smothered with the smotherings. Yeah, man, it's that time. And we need you to be vigilant and be aware, because I don't want none of my family, none of my friends, none of my loved ones winding up and in nobody's emergency room because they sugar done spiked. You know what I mean? The diabetes is going crazy. All type of stuff is going in. The cholesterol is out of control. The blood pressure is out of control. We want to keep everybody happy and healthy as we move into the new lunar cycle of the years. And that also leans into what we're going to show you right now on the AAT report. So it's a video. It's a rather long video. So stay with us. It's about 3 minutes, a little bit more. And and when you hear what they're talking about, you're gonna want to stay. That's all I gotta say. When you hear what they're vibing on and what type of time they on, you're gonna want to stay, because you're gonna be like, "Yo, this information ain't out here like it should be." And no, it's not. It is not. It is certainly not out there, but it needs to be. And, you know, we're going to show it. I'm pulling it up right now, family. Stay with me. Shout out to all those that are listening on all the channels that we broadcast to. We broadcast to we're on 5 Facebook channels. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitch, Twitter, uh, YouTube. We are on, wow, so many different outlets that you could check us on and get with us. We are the Real HD Show, and we want you to come join us. Please do. Mob Crush, D Live, Trovo Nation. Shout out to y'all. Y'all come through. Y'all make this a live event. Facebook, y'all make this a live event. YouTube, y'all make this a live one. Let's get it in here. Get in here. Real HD Show chats on Facebook and Instagram. Y'all get in here and let's chop it up on the Real HD Show. Let's check it out. How much life you lose when you're eating the wrong food. Check this out, Real HD Show.
Eat at your next baseball game. You might want to reconsider, because the concession you choose could cost you valuable life experiences. In a televised broadcast about ultra-processed foods, UPFs, nutritionist Luis Alberto Zamora discussed how harmful items affect life expectancy. He cited a study conducted by experts at the University of Michigan that determined the precise amount of time that well-known UPFs detract from a person's life. According to the study, eating a hot dog takes 36 minutes on average. If you wash that down with a beverage, you're cutting another 12 minutes off your life. However, scientists also discovered that eating some kinds of fish could extend your life by 28 minutes. So the findings weren't entirely negative. More than 5,800 American foods were ranked, and their health costs were calculated by examining their additives and micro and macronutrients, such as calories, fats, and sugars. Some foods, including fruits, vegetables, and even peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, have been shown to extend life, while other foods like pizza, mac and cheese, and hot dogs have been shown to shorten it. Additionally, the researchers discovered that an individual's longevity might be extended by an estimated 48 minutes for every 10% of daily calories obtained from fruits and vegetables rather than beef and processed meat. The urgency of dietary changes to improve human health is clear, stated Dr. Olivier Joliet, the study's lead at the time. Our results show that without needing drastic dietary changes, incremental, targeted substitutions offer a practical and effective way to attain considerable health and environmental benefits. The U.S. consumes about 75% ultra-processed food that is loaded with chemicals and potentially dangerous components. A high UPF diet has been linked in numerous studies to over 30 illnesses, including several types of cancer and an early death. The foods examined in the study included anything from processed meats and sweets to more nutritious options like veggies and seafood. According to the University of Michigan study, the worst foods overall were hot dogs and cured meats like prosciutto.
Isn't it nice to see that some of the people who are going to be leading the free world, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Trump's son, and RFK, who is the new czar of health and human services, is getting down to a nice greasy McDonald's meal. Can't make this shit up, y'all.
Which can make you die within 24 minutes. Third place went to egg and breakfast sandwiches, each of which reduced a person's healthy lifespan by 13.6 minutes. Because hot dogs include the preservatives nitrites and nitrates, they are more likely to shorten life expectancy. However, after being taken, the body may transform them into a chemical associated with colon cancer. Additionally, they include a lot of fat and sugar, which may increase the risk of diabetes. Because they are red or processed meats, cheeseburgers, which take away 9 minutes of life, and bacon, which takes away 6 minutes, may also increase the risk of dying young. These substances have been connected to cancer in some studies. Additionally, the vegetable oil used to fry burgers may include chemicals like aldehyde that increase the risk of cancer. Aspartame, a sweetener included in sugar-free beverages, has also drawn criticism for depriving you of 12 minutes of life because of animal studies that showed excessive levels of the chemical increased the risk of cancer. However, scientists have not yet established a connection in humans. However, it has been demonstrated that avoiding red and processed meats and adopting a more plant-based diet can increase life expectancy by lowering the risk of cancer and other illnesses. The best food for extending healthy years, according to the experts, was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which provided 32 minutes of a long and healthy life. Fruits were in third place at plus 10 minutes, followed by nuts and seeds at plus 24 minutes. According to what Dr. Joliet previously informed the Toronto.
All right, so you heard it. Health warning, and this is on the Irish Star. You can go check this out on the Irish Star, and that video is on YouTube. You can go check out the rest of that. That's very long. But it says health warning as common eating. Bleh. Okay, let's do that again. Health warning as eating common food can slash your life expectancy to more than a half an hour. Wow. So they said burgers, and if you wash it down with a Coke, takes off 18 minutes of your life expectancy. That's wild. That's wild. That is absolutely wild. And I don't know, like you can do things to reverse it because type 2 diabetes and all those types, all those effectual type of, maladies and pathogens, you can reverse that through strict diet, exercise, and, being conscious about your eating. But what the hell? And what's interesting is the metric of it all. You know what I'm saying? Like a hot dog and a soda, it takes off 18 minutes of your life, right? So then you can have as a consumer, you can make a conscious choice on whether you want to partake in fast food that may knock some time off your life, or you want to, or and then maybe you make up for it on the back end by doing that cleanse, doing a fast, intermittent fasting, 30-day fasting, all types of fasts out there. Shout out to Queen of Four and Smart Tawi if anybody's looking for a great detox, great cleansing program. Check out Smart Tawi out of Brooklyn. Go check out Supernova at Queen of Four, Brother Paul Orr, and everybody down there. Smart Tawi, and they will hook you up with that. We got a comment. Hey, Lady T is back in the place to be. Good old peanut butter and jelly. Remember that. Remember this. I remember. I remember. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Stick that peanut butter and jelly sandwich in your backpack with your little juicy juice. And you was on the loose. You was ready to go. You know what I'm saying? And now they say out of all of the quick meals that you can have, peanut butter and jelly actually can add life to your life expectancy. We all hit the 50 mark or more. If you in my little Gen X crowd, shout out to all my peoples I went to school with, all my peoples fellowship with, all my peoples in my cipher, my circumference. Shout out to y'all, all y'all in the 50 crew, over or below. Y'all all know that life is precious, man, and we losing folks left and right, and we don't want to lose you. Therefore, you know, if it's better to be very strategic about how you eat, drink, and what you consume in your body. You know what I mean? Drinking your calories, I hear, is better than eating them. And then, of course, being very, very vigilant about what you eat and how you eat it and what you tend to do on the back end, like cleansing, fasting, put a rainbow on your plate. I've featured that several times within the show, within the episodes of the show. Y'all can go back into time and watch those episodes about that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Appreciate you, sis. That's what's up. That's the homie right there from high school. Much love, much love. Hope everything is good on your side of the game. We are the Real HD Show, the higher discussion, and that was a AAT report. Also, what we're going to get into in our health report is KT, the arch degree. That's right. That super intelligent brother has something to say about our eyes. Why are our eyes so important? Why did the Transformers have that saying, more than meets the eye? Because the eye does have more than what's commonly known. It does more for you than that. So let's check this out. Part of the AAT report. It's about what do the eyes are more than cameras. Let me see what I titled it, because I know I titled it something. Let's see. Give me one sec, family. Okay, got it. Sometimes I don't give it an exact title right away. All right, here we go. Boom. All right, man. The eyes are the window to the
Quantum
soul.
computer. The retinohypothalamic tract, meaning the retina in your eye and the hypothalamus has a line, a tract. So the fancy name, RHT, retinohypothalamic tract, connects the retina, your eye, to the brain. It's central to the regulation of your circadian rhythm. High DHA content allows it to act as a semiconductive circuit. A semiconductor is something that allows you or provides you with a large quantity of electrons. Pardon that, y'all.
The retina is a semiconductive circuit. What?
Processes light for physiological functions and regenerative functions. Okay? And if you see this picture, you notice it's a rainbow, right? What this picture is showing you is the depth of penetration of the different colors. So infrared or red goes the deepest, goes all the way in you, right? But then the rest of them stop and get absorbed through the retina, and then they get processed into the rest of the body. Next slide. Functions of the eye semiconductive circuit. Primary semiconductors are DHA, melanin, and water. Regenerators, dopamine and melatonin. Regulates appetite, satiety, which means being satisfied, and energy. Hormone output via the pituitary gland. Water balance and melanin production, emotions, and decision-making processes.
Okay, so that's very important because what that's basically saying is that the retina and the hormones and the components of the eye have a lot to do with obesity. Whoa. And that's something you don't really hear from the common doctor that you go to. Next time you go to your doctor, say, hey, doc, why you ain't tell me my eyes and the hormones secreted and regulated through the eye vessels have something to do with my appetite, how much I eat and how much I don't eat, my sleep, my circadian rhythm. I've been sleeping real crazy. Are Americans sleeping real crazy? I think so. Does that have to do with some of the blue screens and white screens and screen that we're seeing all day, every day? Maybe. Here we go. Let us know.
Next slide. Light in the eye, rhodopsin system, activated by non-visual red and UV light. These are your rods. You got rods and cones. Cones is color, rod is black and white. Visible light, captured for circadian rhythm and visual processing. You have a dual system in your eye. It's a camera system, handles visual input. Vegetative system supports autonomic brain functions. Light as information. Signals are polarized and converted into DC currents for physiological use. All right?
All right. So I don't want to get too nerdy with it. But y'all see how, and really, if you think about the way the body is composed, you know what I'm saying? If you think the way the body is composed, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you haven't slept. Wow, yeah, yeah. We, that sleep thing is you got a shadow box with that sleep. You gotta give it that jab cross, that that body to the head, and then then you can get out. You know what I'm saying? I personally, and of course, it's not a whole lot you can run from because these screens are emitting this blue light and emitting this white light, and it kind of encapsulates the eye and it kind of overstimulates the senses. And now that we know there's so many hormones within the vessel and the journey of the retina to the brain, um, are regulate so many other types of bodily functions and are responsible for interpreting so many other bodily functions. It's out of control. You know what I mean? So, please, your eyes are precious. If you need them glasses, wear them glasses. If you don't. Always read with good light. You know what I'm saying? Try not to stay up all night on that phone. Put that phone down in another room, so you forced to be without it. Set that alarm so you can get up and go get it and be about your day, but don't have that thing next to you. You know what I mean? While you in a total dark room and all you got is that blue light to regulate your vision. You know what I mean? But that was the real HD show, AAT moment for me to you. Much, much love there. Um, So we're gonna jump right into our lit city report, the wild, the wacky, the wonderful things that make our world go round. You know what I mean? Because we need a little bit of levity. We need a little bit of I wear blue light glasses all day, but it's probably not enough. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, yeah. The good thing you could do though is you could go to like a crystal shop or a shop that sells like organics and get crystals and put crystals around the four, points of the 4 points of your house or the 4 points of whatever room you're in. And then that may help decrease the, tech impact on not only your eyes, but the entire home that you're in. So that all of these, the Wi-Fi, the 6G, the 5G, whatever's circulating in your circumference, you can battle against that just a bit by setting those crystals up in certain, distal points throughout your home or your house or the room that you're in, etc. Yo, man, we are here. We are the Real HD Show. Tap, tap, tap on in, and we will begin to master giving that good information to you. You thought I was gonna say rhyming, rhyming, rhyming like KRS-One, right? You got to know criminal minded to get with me. Those who know, those who don't, catch up. Anyway, so we here, Real HD Show. We rocking with you. We're gonna get into a lit city report, the wild, the wacky, the wonderful things that make our world go round. And I found this clip and I wanted to show it to you. First thing I wanted to show you is this sweatshirt. That's the first thing I wanted to show you. As a teacher, fellow teacher of mine was rocking a sweatshirt, and I was effing with it. No diddy. I was effing with it real hard, and I had to put it on the show. I had to show the people the shirt so that they could be tapped in and be put on it, because the the paradigms of narratives are shifting so really really fast. The groups are exiting power, groups are getting power, groups are fighting for power. There's three main contingencies of power all over the world, and leave it up to them. Melanated people never contributed anything on the planet Earth besides just being here and being subjected to oppression, which is a lot of garbage. And I'm here for it. So my man was wearing a shirt, and I said I had to. I said I wouldn't blow him up by saying his name, but I'll definitely put the sweatshirt up, and I'll open up the joint. It says America will never correct its mistakes if teachers are not allowed to teach about them. Wow. I'll say that again. America will never correct its mistakes if teachers are not allowed to teach about the mistakes. Powerful, powerful message. I hope that reaches who is meant to reach, and I hope it helps who is meant to help. And y'all get on board with us forward and jump on with us. We are the Real HD Show. And the other one from that I want to feature on the Lit City Report before we get into the heavy, heavy, heavy part of the show is this one joint, because everybody was going crazy about last month when the documentary for hip hop came out about breakdancing and the five elements of hip hop, and everybody was taking sides and everybody was saying, "Oh, blacks totally did it, Puerto Ricans totally did it." Everybody was going crazy, especially in New York. I know my hometown, everybody was losing their mind about who did what with what and how it got here. It's most certainly an amalgamation, if not anything. But breakdancing does have a past. And if you don't believe me, check these brothers out right here. Lit City Report, Real HD Show. Hey, that was lit. That was super lit. That was Sammy Davis Jr., Billy Matson, the Nicholas Brothers, expert tappers. But they did more than just tap, because tap was hot during an era where, you had a lot of ballroom dancing and show floor dancing. And, at a time where there wasn't a lot of admixture to the population. That's right. Loving versus Virginia wasn't around back then in the 40s and the 50s. You know what I'm saying? And we came up with so many dope things, so many dope ways to celebrate ourselves and culturalize ourselves to the struggle and the journey that we had. And then you're seeing the brilliance come out right there. You know what I'm saying? And those certainly look like breakdance moves to me. I don't know at home. Y'all can let me know what y'all thinking and where y'all at with it. But that joint looked like breakdance moves to me. You know what I'm saying? If y'all got, if y'all want to chop it up about that clip, if y'all want to chop it up about the teacher's sweatshirt, if y'all want to chop it up about either health idiom that I put on here tonight, there's the call letters down below: IZX G5 KY5S3. Yeah, man, we here, we doing it. We are the Real HD Show. The higher discussion couldn't do it without you if you don't jump on. So jump on, throw it in the comments. Let's have a higher discussion about what it is that is going on with our peoples right now. The good, the bad, the ugly of it all. Let us know where you're at. Let us know what you're doing. We are. Oh, you know what? I got one more thing for the Lit City Report. One more piece. And it's called Dad Does a 5 a.m. Dash for his daughter. So let me put the clip up real quick. And let me get the thing up for it. Let me see. Okay. And then while that's up and you're perusing that, I will open it up for discussion after I get this up. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Right. Didn't waste no time getting to it. I appreciate that. Internet. No? Say what you want, internet. I like you. Folks be acting like they don't like you. I like you. Dad's 5 a.m. gesture for adult daughter leaves internet in awe. Wow, what did the melanated dad do for his daughter at 5 a.m.? You know what I'm saying? Let's find out, what is that. So I'm going to share my screen and read a little bit of this while we're waiting for the video to load up. I'll read a byline or two of this because it's very important. This makes the difference. I'm seeing so many folks that want to be, all this, gender wars and men versus women and women versus men. And, nobody's checking for nobody. Nobody wants to be down with nobody. Don't nobody want to love on nobody. It's crazy. Mind, you know what I'm saying? Mind tricks the body, body tricks the mind. Is crazy. Yo, man, if y'all know who said that lyric, you will get $100 restaurant certificate, courtesy of the Real HD Show. Jump on and let us know who said that. Whose hip hop lyric was that? Body tricks the mind, mind tricks the body is crazy. Okay. All right. So let's go. Let's check this out real quick. And of course, as it's loading, let's just give it a second to do what it do. Hmm. So this is from Newsweek, in focus on Newsweek, and they are sharing this particular piece. It says the fitness and content creator has gone viral for the quiet way her dad supports her life. Oreo A full-time social worker who also creates a fitness-related content, posted a video of her dad's thoughtful gesture on TikTok, which shows him driving behind her while she runs at 5 a.m. Wow. Her dad's unique role in her fitness journey began in 2023 when she started running before her graduate school classes um, at UCLA. So this is her running or being in the picture. I have the opposite of daddy issues because my dad drives behind me 5 a.m. while I run to make sure I'm safe. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Quote, it's too dark for me to go out there alone. So he offered to follow behind me to ensure my safety. It became a special routine that not only supports my running goals, but strengthens our bond. When we started, what started a practical solution now became a cherished routine. The fitness vlogger explained her dad has always been her provider and protector, ensuring that she never has to worry about anything. Um, Quote, his unwavering support driving behind me on the early runs is just one example of the countless ways that he shows me that he loves and cares about me. So there you go, my peoples. There you go. There is mom and dad, daughter and dad, family love in the black community still. We are, we are, it's still capable. We're still capable of loving on one another if we want to. If we want to do the work. Now that's work. Getting up 5 in the morning, that's work. Just to make sure your baby girl is all right as she pursues her goals. You know what I mean? Making your daughter one of your goals. Super, super important. I know that's how I regard my daughter. I am on it like nobody's business. You know what I mean? Baby girl said, I want to be a cheerleader, dad. Help me learn how to backflip. We went in the yard and we backflipped like crazy. I think I even tried, broke my neck, but I tried. And I showed her how to do it. And then all of a sudden, I'm watching her at basketball games and high school football games, cheering and doing 5 and 6 backflips into a somersault. I couldn't be more prouder, man. Brothers out there right now, man, don't pay attention to the angst. Don't pay attention to the emoting. Don't pay attention to the emotionality of the moment. Know that things and they need you in bigger and brighter ways than just the arguing and the fussing. Get out there and show your worth more than a blank check or a credit card that you can slide. Show them that you have that provision and that protection for the situation. Oh, we got a comment. Let's see what the commenter has to say. Can't think of what that rap song is. Yeah, man, I'm gonna give up the ghost on that rap song. That's Buckshot Shorty, Boot Camp Click. You know I got you open. And that just kind of came to my head. You know what I'm saying? Mind tricks the body, body tricks the mind. Is crazy. Whenever I get the flow, I'm Swayze. I break, you take, whatever. Buckshot make. He goes on and on and on and on. Buckshot dope. Check out Boot Camp Clip. Real dope brothers out of Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? made a living off of doing hip hop music, um, from a cipher, from a corner, from a b-boy perspective. Show them some love. I know Smith and Wesson got some new stuff out. I know Rock got some new stuff out. Shout out to Ruck who passed, Sean P, one of the dopest MCs ever. Back to it, back to it, back to it. So the daddy watching his daughter while she runs at 5 a.m. for her safety can't undo it. Can't say how immense that is, how great that is, how and what a cherished moment they're gonna have when he gets to sit back with his grands and great grands and they can remember the times when they did those things with and for one another. Powerful, powerful stuff. Let us know if you got some powerful moments. Send it to the Real HD Show, and we will certainly play it on the show. We will certainly play it on the show. Brother Mozzie in the building. How you living, bro? Can you hear me, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, great. I was gonna say, how you doing, bro? Kind of.
I'm hanging in there, man. Running from place
Good.
to place.
Good, bro. Good, man. We were just going over we were in the middle of a lit city moment on the show, and we were talking about how a dad chose to do something real special for his daughter. And despite all the gender wars and the craziness that goes back and forth all over the media and all over the, pop culture of it all, this particular dad decided to do something real dope for his daughter. And what he does is, dad's 5 a.m. gesture for daughter leaves the internet in awe. I was going to show the video of it, but I'll spare you to save some time. One of the things that he did for his daughter was, she was a grad student and schedule's full, but she wanted to maintain health and, optimal health. So she decides to get up and run at 5 in the morning. And right away, for dads, we know that as soon as you hear your daughter or your wife saying, I'm going to do anything at time a.m. in the morning, you're like, what are you, crazy? Get out of here. You ain't doing that. But instead of holding, and he compromised with her. You got these fitness goals you want to meet, baby girl. I got to make sure you're safe. I'm going to drive behind you while you complete your run. Almost like how a boxer would, and then his trainers would be behind him in the car, watching over him, ensuring the safety. Same thing with this. So, I love to celebrate and showcase brothers who are really putting it down for their young peoples and helping their lives move a little further and be a little bit better. Your thoughts, bro?
They said, a daughter's first love is her dad. And, dads need to understand that and understand the power that they have, in terms of their daughter's life's achievements, as well as the success or non-success that she may have in terms of the relationships that she's going to have in the future. So it's important that, we show our daughters what we would like for them to strive for. We have to show our daughters, this is how you are to be treated, and things of that nature. So it's dope.
Yeah, man.
Now, it'd be a difference if he got out there and ran with her. But he's like, I'm going to be realistic.
Yeah.
I'm not going to run with you, but I ain't going to let nothing happen to you.
Right.
And more importantly, our daughters, man, and our kids in general just don't feel safe in this world, man. And a lot of them aren't safe in this world. And then we wonder why they're angry. They're hard to deal with, man, because they've had so much disappointment in their lives at such an early age.
Interesting.
And as dads, as you know, because we both have daughters, our daughters are not afraid to take on the world. Why?
No.
Because we were there. We instilled that in them. They, we walk with them through the good, the bad, and the ugly. But they got an understanding because we were there to help them to decipher what's going on, what the deal is. And if we can just get more brothers to understand that, and realize that you shouldn't just be throwing your seed everywhere if you don't plan on fertilizing it and tilling it so it can grow properly.
Woo!
And with that, we ain't saying that our kids are perfect, but we're saying that our kids are somewhat pretty adjusted in life, well adjusted in life, and have the EQ that's really important that will get them through life. My daughter, as you know, I think I told you, but my daughter said, "I'm done with Rochester, Dad. I'm about to go and figure out where I want to live." She got up. She moved to Greensboro, North Carolina. Everybody's like, "Why in the heck would she do that?"
Right.
My daughter's adventurous, man. She wants to chart her own path.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And these millennials too, man. She's a solo traveler. She's one of the many young women out there that are, hey, my friends ain't got no money. I'm not paying for their trip because you had the same opportunity that I have. I'm calling my daughter, "Where you going?" "Oh, well, I'm just going to, I'm going to Chicago for the weekend to hang out, or I'm going to St. Thomas. I got a 4-day weekend. I'm going to go down to St. Thomas and hang out." With who? By myself. And the fact that, one, they have the confidence to go do it. They're not scared of every little bug and every little piece of wind that blows, but also they know how to take care of themselves and they know how to navigate.
Fire. Like I can't say that, that point, man, everybody at home, and I know I'm scattering around my complete thoughts right now, but everybody at home, tap in and let us know if you taught your kids how to navigate. Very important. Where to go, what to do, how to move, how to keep your head low, how to recognize the forest for the trees, how to get in and out of situations. Don't you pull out that water cache in the middle of a crowded area, like how to move. That's so important. So important. You know what I mean? Don't put that purse on one shoulder, strap that thing across your chest. Wear a book bag, even better, wear a book bag. Keep the purse in the book bag, zipped up.
There you go.
How to move is super important. You know what I mean?
And you know what's interesting about that? Growing up in Western New York, I never could understand why, women where I grew up, the women always carried the purse over their shoulder. But then I go downstate, everybody got strapped across the front. And I was like, yo, is this like a fashion thing or just a New York thing?
Nah.
But as I got older, I'm like, okay.
Nah,
I
buddy.
understand.
You got to get on them subways and them buses. That's a real thing.
Man. Got to keep it right here. And I taught my daughter.
That's real living. That's real living. For sure.
That ain't no prude either. I know you want to go out with your friends, they're gonna be drinking, whatever. Remember, your drink is always here. Always. Because when you sit out there telling girl,
I've seen guys too. How do you conduct yourself and have adult fun while you're maturing and learning and living and loving? How do you do that and stay safe and stay edified and pursue your leisures while staying safe? Super important, man.
How many people have told their daughters, "I don't care if that's your best friend or not," and she may not know. If you're out someplace eating and drinking, you don't say, "Hold my drink." You either take it with you, or you just let it go.
You let it go. Yeah.
Because your friend could have all, and she can be, she's gonna keep her eye on it. But is she really? It's slick. Someone could be put a drop of Visine or something in there, man. You come back and you drink and you thinking she done washed it, and once again she all out there like this, and somebody done walk behind her and drop something in there real quick.
Yeah.
So we got to teach our kids. That's just an example of
how to move.
little things that we got to teach our kids. And I tell my daughter, you don't need to be out there drinking like that. And she wasn't a drinker like that. You know what I mean? But she did drink. I wasn't gonna be, I'm not gonna sit back and say, "Oh, not my child." Oh.
Your child too.
That is probably one of the worst things that we could do for our kids. is be in denial and act as if somehow that we raised our kids to the point where they ain't gonna do what we did. Come on
now. Yeah.
They're gonna at least try it. You know what I mean? Or experiment. The goal is to make sure they understand certain things that you just don't do because there's no turning back.
Right.
You know, so that part they need to know and understand. But to act as if they're gonna, they're gonna stay pure as the driven snow, as they like to say, all their life. Come on now, let's be real.
Yeah, man.
Have real conversations with your children. That part right there, man, is so important. I ain't saying you gotta be real and you gotta get all vulgar with them and all that. I'm saying just real frank conversations about life and people.
Yeah.
You know what Absolutely. I mean? They got to know that, man. They got to know that. And then you got to provide a safe space for your kids. One of the things that for us was the van. The van was the safe place. You can, they got that new thing now that everybody's doing. We speak, but we don't judge or something like that. It's a new thing going around social media. That's kind of how it was in the car. We're in the van, we're going places. Hey, if there's anything we need to know that we don't know about, here's a time for you to tell us, and here's a space you can tell us. And we give you our word, and you have to keep your word. If you tell us while we're in this vehicle, because we did a lot of road trips and stuff like that, and we were a family of one vehicle. We promise that we're going to, listen and hear you out. And even if it's something that typically would piss me off, I may want to reach back in. I'm not going to do that. We're going to talk it through, and I'm going to try to understand what's going on. So that's what we did, man. So, it was one time my son was having some rough times at school, man, coming from practice. And I'm trying to figure out, what's going on? And I'm like, he wouldn't tell me. But we're going for it. So I said, you know what? Let's go for a ride.
Those are the tender moments, man. You got to get them to give up the ghost.
There you go, man. And the way we did that was went for a ride. Let's go for a ride. Let's go get some ice cream or something. We go for a long drive. We might end up down the Pennsylvania border, but we're riding. And that's when he knows that's a safe space. He's been conditioned that's a safe space. And he told me what the issues were. Now, when I heard what he told me, I wanted to drive off a cliff, but it wasn't that bad to where I would drive off a cliff. I was just pissed, and I wanted to be pissed, and I had no other way to show it because my word was my word to them. I'm not going to fuss at you about it. We're going to talk it through. And that's what you do, man. So your kids got to know that they can come to you at all times. You want to be that person for them.
Yeah,
now, they're going to have a friend, and that friend, they're going to go to another friend who's just the same age, just as dumb.
Right. How about it?
And they're going to talk to each other like they don't experience the world and don't know nothing. So we got to make sure that we provide to them the comfort level to come to us and just have that conversation. No matter.
Let's have the conversation. Let's have a conversation right now. This is the higher discussion. That's why Brother Mozzie's on. That's why I'm on. That's why Lady T is in the background watching us. That's why all our channels is pumping. You have tuned into the Real HD Show. Let's go. So, power to the people news, man. Wait, what just happened? This just happened. Bombs over Baghdad, man. What you think of these drones flying over Jersey, man? Bang out unless you plan to bang.
Well, the sad thing about it is what it's going to do is it's going to usher in a new level of it's going to usher in a new level of surveillance and registration. Because right now every drone has to be registered. And although those drones are registered, people still don't know who they belong to. So now they're going to allow them to bring in new technology to allow them to be able to track all those drones, track things that you do again.
Now, just on some common sense stuff, man. We're not even getting granular. We're not getting, real intellectual about this. If I saw a drone flying over my block that was the size of an SUV, that's a spaceship, my dude. That ain't no drone.
Say it again.
I said, if a drone is flying over my block, the size of a damn SUV, that ain't no drone. That's a spaceship.
Well, you know.
I know a spaceship when I see spaceship. How could Leroy had a spaceship? That's a damn spaceship. God damn it. Come on, man. Like, who are you fooling? The size of an SUV, bro?
But here's what's happening, though. The
Crazy.
goal is to eventually kind of lull people to sleep. The more you see them up in the sky.
Yeah.
But I do believe that some of this is the government getting the people ready.
Yeah. Let me read this clip that's right next to the post here. It says, mystery drones on the rise. SUV-sized drones spotted over Jersey since mid-November. Okay, so this is not the first time. Spark an FBI investigation. Who's behind the tech enigma? Somebody below it said, this is the new DoorDash feature.
There you go. It could be the Chinese, man. They good at messing with us, and we so stupid now, man. We fall for whatever.
Right.
We always fall for the banana in the tailpipe when it comes to them.
Yeah, man. So now, so they done upgraded, man. First it was the balloons over the Midwest, and now SUVs. I guess we get to meet the aliens next month, right?
Well, but the thing is, the way they view things, they'll just kind of, oh, that's peculiar. What is that? Interesting. Right. And that's pretty much all you got going on. Hey, yeah, that's peculiar.
Oh, yeah. Gosh. Tell me that's not the extent of the response. That's peculiar, Junior. What the hell? Yeah, man. Let us know what you think of the flying drones at home. Is it a sign? Is it the sign of the fourth turning? Is it a sign of our apathy that we're not doing enough about what we're seeing flying over our head, flying over the crib? Do the 4G, 5G, and 6G waves got our brains cooked so that we can't even recognize peculiar crap right in our face? That's a monster. Hi, Mr. Monster. Like,
that's
what?
That's a pretty big vehicle, man. That's
Right, exactly. Like,
or maybe crazy. They're just testing out some new type of drones, man. That's all, man.
Yeah.
They're just testing some new drones to see if we can, make some changes in the way in which we fly. We don't have to always use the jet engine to propel. We can find other ways of doing this.
2 weeks ago, I don't know if you were on, but I did a show where we were talking about the levitating cars, the floating automobiles.
Okay.
So of course they have them in San Francisco as a prototype, and they got them in certain other places across the world. I think Lithuania might have one. It's like maybe 3 of them in existence that's operational, but they're all beta. But here we go, now they're unveiling floating cars, and now you got, drones the size of SUVs in the air already. We're a little late to the party with the floating car piece, right?
Well, what's interesting is that I think, as much as we try to make it seem that we live in such a free world, all our information is very crafted here in America. That's why it's important to listen to the Real HD. Information is very crafted. In other countries, they seem to have that freedom that we so talk about so much. They tend to have opposition newspaper, even though we claim we have that kind of stuff. So, we have to really kind of check ourselves in this country. And the problem is most people haven't gone to any other country outside of Canada, maybe Mexico. Oh, everybody go to Jamaica. I'm sorry, forgot. Everybody go to Jamaica. Every time there's a time for a trip, they go to Jamaica. But I mean, nothing against Jamaicans, but ain't much going on in Jamaica. They're not a place that we look to and say, hey, you're a bastion of whatever. But when you travel the world, man, you'll see that people are very they expose themselves to a lot of knowledge, good, bad, and indifferent.
Right. So,
and no one tells you they don't have the problems that we have when you get exposed to other information. Because you get exposed to information in this country.
No, make sure, remember that thought. Everybody at home, remember what Brother Mozzie said, because that's very important. And speaking, because we're going to deal with that as we go into something else as a little later on if we get to it, because we already an hour and a minute over. Okay, so that's okay. We're a little over, so a little over 9 now. What is it now? Let's see. What we got? Oh, 9:13. Okay, cool. So let's get to it, man. There's another post I want to show you about carefully crafted information that was held back for a very long time. That's now making itself apparent, and it puts a whole new light on certain subject areas, especially when it comes to that of health and safety, especially when you want to call, PO9 the public safety, right? I don't know how much public safety they are when you hear things like this. Check this out. Real HD show. Let me see if am I sharing my screen? Cool. Check this out.
1980s, Broward County Sheriff's Office decided that they just didn't have enough crack cocaine to use in undercover stings. So what was their solution? They set up shop on the 7th floor of the Broward County Courthouse in Fort Lauderdale, where they cooked crack. Using $20,000 worth of seized cocaine, they made crack rocks, packaged them individually, and then sold them to people during sting operations. At the time, those who were involved defended the practice, claiming it was efficient for making arrests and saved time on lab tests. Critics, however, called it outrageous and unethical. Defense attorneys were especially vocal, pointing out the moral issues of cops creating and distributing crack. Come on now. The story even shocked federal officials, with some admitting that they had never heard of such practice before. Let's fast forward to today, and the fallout from the scheme is finally being addressed. Broward County State Attorney Harold F. Pryor announced that his office is working to vacate as many as 2,600 convictions tied to these particular operations. Many of these convictions involve people who were not selling drugs but buying small amounts, often within 1,000 feet of schools, which carried harsher penalties. The Florida Supreme Court, though, ruled in 1993 that the actions violated the state's due process clause, declaring it unconstitutional to charge people in cases where the drugs were manufactured and sold by police officers. In layman's terms, it's wrong for police departments to make crack and sell it to people in order to lock them up. So in the late...
Make crack.
All right,
but
here we go.
But we've said that. We've said that we aren't the ones bringing crack into the community. We've always said that there were others. And pretty much when people used to say the government was doing it, everybody's, oh, come on, you guys.
Right. You got to say it with a little more nasal in your voice. Come on, you guys.
Really? This good government? Yeah. No, come on, man. You guys are always looking for a conspiracy, man. Not everything is racist. We ain't saying nobody about racism. All we said was that the government is bringing the drugs in, and they're actively involved in the drug case. Great book to get if you really want to understand drugs in America. The book by the Executive Intelligence Review called Dope Inc.
Hold on, let me put it up. Book of the show tonight, because I had another book I was going to feature, but I like that one. I like that one better. Dope Inc.
The book that drove Henry Kissinger crazy. And with the Executive Intelligence Review, everybody familiar with Lyndon LaRouche, right? These are some of the Lyndon LaRouches and the Birch Society. You know, basically, these very, some of them are somewhat smart and some of them are well-to-do white folks. So these aren't your Billy Joe Jim Bob white people of America. These are those who were your middle America who worked in these positions, but they didn't get theirs. So they got mad and they told on everybody.
Yeah, that's usually how it happens.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to.
I say they broke down the entire system.
You don't want to make me a permanent part of your boys' club. Got it.
I'm a tell.
I'm a tell. I'm going to that. I'm going to the publishing house. Here we go.
And in that book, man, they break down the banks, they break down all the connections related to dope incorporated worldwide. It's one hell of a book.
Yeah, man. I remember the true story of the movie Traffic that Don Cheadle and Zeta Jones they played in, and about how they were getting all of the poppy from to create the crack cocaine over from it wasn't just South America, it was the Middle East.
It was where?
The Middle East.
Yeah, remember who was the number one producer over in Afghanistan of poppy, which gives you heroin. It was the Mujahideen. They would grow the poppy to grow the heroin, and that's how they were making their money in the West. That's why ISIS and the Taliban was so important, because they were shutting down the drug fields.
Correct.
And so the West always went in to meddle with that.
But that was a silent, nobody really, I mean, those of us who kind of make it our business to know, but most, like, that wasn't common knowledge. That's not 6 o'clock, 11 o'clock news information. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
Everyone thought that when it came to drugs, that it had to be the Colombians. But no one ever talked about where the heroin came from.
Exactly. Yeah, man. So just I'm glad you brought that up, bro. And y'all go check out Dope Inc. And come on back to the show. Now let's have a higher discussion about Dope Inc. You know what I mean? That's one of the very main things that I didn't really get to in the format of the show so far is doing exposés on books that would be a lot more healthy and that would, people would get a lot more out of than just actually reading cover to cover. You may get a broader understanding, almost like a book group, reading group, type of deal. And a book like that, I would love to just rip open cover to cover and just go crazy with the reading. Maybe some of y'all don't share my love for information and reading like that, but I'm a nut for it. I'll be up till 5 a.m. doing it, no problem, real easy. So y'all check out Dope Inc. as a recommendation from the Real HD Show. Let us know what you think. Come on back and let us know where you're at with it. Go ahead, Brother Mozzie.
Oh, what I was going to say too, and you can tell as you're buying books out here, you can tell how important that book was by the price of the book.
Yes.
No one's heard of this book. And typically books that didn't sell or that weren't that important, you pick it up for $6.99.
Yeah.
What was the price of that book?
$56.
The average person in America will not spend that kind of money for a book unless it's a textbook for school.
Right. Absolutely.
So that tells you it must be something important in that book.
So we're moving on. Let's get ready to jump into the next portion of what we're going to do on the show while we still have one. And I don't even know if I want to even get this orange dude any clout on my show tonight. I don't know, man. Power to the people news, man. What just happened? This just happened. The Khazars, man, the new Khazarians, as folks like to call them, when you can say that without them trying to say that you're being anti-Semitic, because that's who they are. And they're carried out ground raids on Syria, they're Lebanon, Gaza. You know, they're at odds with Iran. We said this on this show about maybe last year sometimes, that these dudes are the new like imperialists. So do you guys let me know at home? And Brother Mozzie will probably co-sign what I'm saying. I don't want him to because I don't want to echo chamber here. But do we know what the end game is for these dudes overseas? And is the way that they're going about handling this quote unquote October 7th massacre, giving them the green light to colonize and imperialize the entire Middle East. Is imperialism the end game? What's your thoughts at home? And Brother Mozzie, what's your thoughts? Do we want to? Is there going to be I guess a united, Middle East of sorts with Israel at the head because of the way that they're conducting their war games?
I don't think there'll ever be a united, but I think what will happen is there's a fight for land.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always the big thing on the planet. We fight for land. And also remember too, they have that big canal they want to build through there. So now you're talking about economic supremacy.
Yep.
And as people are waking up to say the shenanigans of Israel, something got to be done about it.
So one would say, what in the world does this have to do with us? And I'll kind of lend a little. What does this have to do with us? What is what they're doing over there have to possibly do with melanated people in the diaspora and of course in this part of the planet? What's your thoughts on that, bro? What do you think? Something about witnessing one group be imperialistic in an area with melanated people have to do with melanated people across the globe?
It's about who controls the goods and services and who eventually have supremacy. They now can control you. They can tell you, they can feed you, they can starve you. There's a lot of little things like that that can happen in all of this. And because we're not in tune to what's going on, we just think, well, hey, they're bombing them, ain't got nothing to do with us. Don't bother me.
Yeah, man. So, Hague Convention, we got all the conventions after World War II. We got what was the crap that gave them a nation state? Forget the name of the conference that gave them Israel as a nation state in 1948. But the point is, you had all of these rules, international rules about ICC was formed, a bunch of regulatory practices and states of being, quote unquote, NATO, all of these different things were formed in order to curtail hegemony by European powers, of course, after what Hitler and his allies had done. Are we watching social dominance theory just play out right in our face? And then now we'll get a little nerdy. Now we'll get a little Jim Sedanius of it all. Are we watching social dominance theory in the Middle East when you see these countries go through what they're going through at the behest of one of the most powerful military forces on the planet, at the behest of what happened on October 7th. Now, remember, what happened on October 7th was supposed to be that's the gateway to allowing all of this to happen, right? That was supposed to be the linchpin as to why all of this is going on, why there's possibly going to be a World War III, all of these things happening. But if they made rules to curtail savagery during war, and now that there's war, they're forgetting all the rules that they created for against savagery, are we just looking at social dominance theory, Jim Sedanius, at play right before our eyes?
Yeah. I mean, they're very barbaric and very savage what they're doing over there. You know, because the information is very controlled, we don't realize how bad it is.
Mm.
We don't realize all that. So we don't know. And then a lot of us really don't care to know. You know, as long as it ain't happening over here, we can care less.
Yeah, man. So it's a lot to take in, and it's a lot to kind of dig into. Are you familiar with what's going on with brother Billy Carson? Have you been keeping up with that?
And I ain't been keeping up, but I see he's got himself in a pickle.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, these guys who they you know, just like Brother Polite, you talk too much, you get drunk and intoxicated with these putting on all these platforms.
No, man, great example. Brother Polite, very good example.
And they say some things that some people think is a little outlandish, but you sound very believable. And then it takes that one. What happens is you get a little arrogant. It's like when we were, you know, you take the guy who you know, he's doing something, he's getting over. And then eventually he gets comfortable because he keeps getting over. Then he slips up. He gets too lax. And then some next thing you know, you screw up. And that's what's happened with these guys. He got so comfortable just saying stuff, man. And then when he ran it, because I think what happened with him was he had a conversation. No, did he have a conversation?
Yeah.
Well, it was a Christian scholar.
It was a conversation, but it was more like he kind of was in over his head a little bit.
Yeah.
And he kind of fell for the okie doke. I kind of liken that to what a lot of like the Breakfast Club, they go through this very same thing when they have, you know, academicians and they have politicians on their show that might be a tad bit more educated than the host.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get up there and they look like they got boo-boo on the bottom of their shoe because they're not prepared. Check this out, man. I'm going to put this little quick video on, man, and I want y'all to, I won't play the whole thing. I only play half of it because it's about 3 minutes long. But it's this cat who made a interesting animation about this whole thing. It's got so much popularity that someone made a South Park animation about Wes Huff and Billy Carson going at it. And the reason why Billy Carson is important to the last conversation that we had for people at home is because he always drops a lot of factoids about the ancient Middle East, the Sumerians, the origins of Christianity, the origins of African theology and theosophy. So a lot of people kind of lean into what he's saying. There's truth everywhere. So some of the things he says has some validity to it. But like you said before, Brother Mozzie, you just, you know, you kind of, you know, cut your nose off to spite your face. Despite your best attempts to look dignified, you wind up looking crazy. So let me play this real quick and then we can talk about it on the other side. That'll probably be the last thing we do for the night. Check this out, Real HD Show.
I'm here with my good man, Billy Carson and Wesley Huff. Just going right to it, I had here, Billy, you talk about how Jesus was never crucified. If you want to, I guess, go first, Billy, as to how you came about, like the findings where it seems that Jesus was not crucified, or that's not accurate?
Sure. And in my videos, and if you listen to the podcast, the statement is according to Sinai Bible, Jesus wasn't crucified in that Bible. That Bible predates the King James Version of the Bible. And then also one of the things that were interesting is that they discovered the book of Jesus' wife, which is at the Harvard Seminary. According to some scholars, that's a little controversial, but they claim that this is an accurate record that Jesus may have even been married. It adds more to the hypothesis that maybe he wasn't crucified.
So when you refer to the Sinai Bible, would you be referring to Codex Sinaiticus, like the codex that comes? Okay, the Codex Sinaiticus in particular, it's a 4th century Greek manuscript, and its text of the Gospels reads almost identical to the modern Greek text that we develop translations from. So I think my confusion is that it doesn't read any differently.
I misquoted there. It's the Gospel of Barnabas.
Okay, yeah, well, so that's good. So let's deal with that too. The Gospel of Barnabas is a really interesting document because it is a known forgery, which we only have 2 copies of. One is in Italian and one is in Spanish. And I think a bigger problem is that the Gospel of Barnabas actually paraphrases Dante's Inferno, which was written in 1314. It's a known forgery. I mean, no one's referring to the Gospel of Barnabas as anything other than...
If you say it's a known forgery, yes, but I'm going to go with that. Let's talk about the Old Testament.
All right, so there you go. And we could watch the rest, you can watch the rest of it on YouTube. Wes Huff is the guy's name. And he basically invited Billy Carson to have what would be is a kind of impromptu debate on impromptu kind of volley about the validity of ancient text and ancient Christian dogma, what have you. What did you think of that clip, bro? And go ahead. I'll tell you my take on it. I'm ready to tell you my take right now.
Well,
I gotta be a host first. So go ahead, brother. Tell you what's your take on that?
He sounds like brothers who've been reading the scrolls and not reading and not doing their in the library doing their research.
Interesting. Why you say that? Tell us why.
Because of the experiences that I've had and seen where I've heard the language and I've heard these dudes talk. He sounds like a disciple of Malachi Z. York, aka Rabboni, aka
okay. You're talking about Dr. York, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Imam Isa from the Nubian Islamic Mission, who went through its various iterations. But that's what he sounds like, a disciple of him, in terms of the things that he's talking about. And these guys are so knowledgeable. But one thing, that guy that he was talking with, I can guarantee you that guy is a little on the spectrum, because the way in which he knows and spouts the information, that's usually a lot of people who are on the spectrum are like that. But the way Carson talks about it, when he got stumped, he's like, well, he kind of blew it off and went to the next thing and brought up the Gospel of Barnabas. And we know that the Gospel of Barnabas has been talked about in the Afrocentric circles for many years. But once again, as it relates to Christian text, no one really talks about it from an actual historical perspective on when did this pop on the scene and who wrote, because we know that when we talk about the Christian Bible, there's a lot of authors, and no one ever put that into context,
right?
The way this guy did. And obviously he studied it. And Carson just played himself, man. I mean, that's really what happened. He got to the point where he got lazy. He should always be on his P's and Q's, but what happened is you start making that money. I think it's 30, 40,000 to get him to come talk on the show.
Right.
I mean, this man's getting paid now. And when you get, and I go back to the silk sheets, man. Silk sheets theory.
Yeah,
he started sleeping on silk sheets.
silk
You
sheets
forgot,
under your butt, man. That'll make you forget all of the nights of studying,
you forget the
all the fact
grind,
checking
man.
you did, all the
Yeah, you was on that grind before, man, and you was making sure that everything, he was tight at all times.
yeah,
But
yeah,
now you getting 30,000-40,000 a pop to go appear on, or 5,000 to do a 30 seconds 1 minute spot on TV, and next thing you know, you start slipping.
yeah, man.
Flying first
That's a lot
class.
of butter biscuits, man.
Yeah, man.
That's a
Silk
lot of butter
sheets.
biscuits and lazy mentality for sure. So not only did he have a lazy mentality, I thought, because he hadn't been challenged that one thing about, growing up in New York City, man, whenever you were of the conscious community or, you know, I'll just leave it there. People would come to you and you had to really, show and prove what you was about. If you was about that, you had to really bring it. You had to not only bring verse and edict, but you had to bring up your sources. You had to bring up proof. You had to go through all of the things that would validate whatever point you were trying to make at the time. Folks just didn't rely on you just spouting whatever you spouted for the sake of just spouting it because you believe. Now, believe me, trust me, there was enough people just doing that. And a lot of them people went home either crying or mad. But if you was about that, then you really had to be about your sources and you really had to reference what you wanted to reference and you had to tie in multiple sources and all of that type of piece, or you didn't get no peace. You might have went home in pieces.
And
You know what I'm saying?
and that was huge, the 70s, the 80s, and the
Yes.
90s in
Yes.
particular.
There was a,
Especially
there was an accountability that way though. That's really important.
right. Because we had too many snake oil salesmen that have come
Mm,
through our community, too much Father Divines and Father Feel Goods. So it came a point where now we started to embrace the academics. And we're like,
mhm.
listen, man, you just ain't gonna come in the community and just tell us whatever you want to tell us.
Right.
And you had that, and then you did have the Nubian Islamic mission and Bushwick that existed at the time.
Right.
With those guys, and then even same thing with our Hebrew Israelite brothers. They had a perfect way of dealing with it. When you challenge them, what they do, they start beating dudes up back in the day. And they were
Yeah.
so aggressive where you
With
was
the
like, remember
with
back
the with
then,
the
brother had the leather on and the,
yeah.
the rhinestone gloves with spikes in them and everything. And, you didn't get out of place. You didn't challenge their information because they'll knock you in the face.
That's not the information you want to challenge.
Right. But there
The
were some
cat with the
brothers who were
spikes
bold
on his
enough.
hand, you leave him alone,
Yeah, but there were some brothers who were bold enough to roll up, down there on the Fulton Mall, roll up with their crew, and they all standing off. Now let's throw some information out. Oh, he got his boys now. We're a little outnumbered. I don't think we can fight them. So now they can challenge the information. But,
Yeah.
And we've gotten away from that. And the 2000s rolled in. And as we went along in our community and where we're at right now, we have so many people that we call doctor. They got EDs that are not subject matter experts, that do not follow what we knew growing up. If you were going to be called doctor or have your PhD, that you were a subject matter expert, that you were great at research, you were great at deductive reasoning, all these different things you had to do to get you to that level. Now you can just do a weekend program in 18 months. We can call you doctors.
Man said,
Think about that.
Weekend program, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That stuff didn't go when I was coming out of college in the early 90s. When I was coming out of school,
wasn't good enough.
Wasn't good enough. Bro, you gotta put them. One of my best buddies, man. He's 7-year program, man. And that's just schoolwork and then doing your research, and hopefully your dissertation is done in 7 years. If you one of them dudes who ain't lucky enough to get yours done in 7, and think about all the dudes we knew that were PhD students. That discouraged some of us because we were like, man, that nigga broke. I ain't trying to do that. living on them fellowships, man, scrimping and scraping. You're like, man, I'm about to go get this job. Offer me a nice deal. And so what has happened with that is a lot of us stayed away from information, but it's a lot of us who still read and knows what's going on. The unfortunate part is, especially in the Black community, but most people in general don't. More than 50% of people don't even read a book after high school and college.
Yeah, what me and wifey was talking about that the other day, but I didn't want to move too far past what you brought up, because you brought up something important. I mentioned the point about accountability to you, and it's not only an accountability to our people and giving the good word, but it's accountability to other groups. Because then you would have a Khalid Muhammad debate a Rabbi Shmuley, and
Exactly.
and rock the dude till he had to get up and walk out of the actual debate because he knew he had no wins against a brother like a Khalid Muhammad. And in this time of the revival of Trump is what I want to say. The spiritual revival of Trump is what I'd like to say. We have a lot of uber Christian sentiments floating around. And that seems to be the new quote unquote racial rally cry, is this hyper Christianity piece that's running around. And it's not just white people buying into it, it's also Black folks buying into it, in proxy of what the white folks are doing too. So, a big debate, whenever you see a debate about, I guess, macro popularisms, like let's take that Gladiator movie that's out right now, for instance, because it's set in that area of the world, the Middle East, the Iberian Peninsula, all the things that happened way, way back in the day that really nobody can be said for sure or for certain unless you have that, anthropological record to actually validate what's going on. These super hyper Christians want to double down on anything that they consider quote unquote blackwashed. So that's the new term running around, blackwashed. Anything's blackwashed. So in the 80s and the 90s, when our intellectual giants were around, the Dr. Benz, Dr. Clark, Farrakhan's, Khalid Muhammad's, Dr. Cress Welson's, we got Joy DeGruy still holding it down. She's still alive and doing her circuit. But we had an immense amount of brothers and sisters out there that would be willing to take your head off with the information, figuratively. If you got up there, I don't care who you were, white, black, indifferent, you might have been a polka dot pig. You was gonna get your bottom spanked with the information if you came up there talking some nonsense. And now it seems like we're ushering ourselves into, as a country, into another hyper Christian, hyper religious kind of doting on white supremacy through Christianity. What do you think about that in terms of how they're going to try to protect the brand of Christianity as opposed to just tell the truth? And how many of our revolutionary thinkers, academics, are going to come out guns blazing, ready to battle some of this misinformation that a lot of these hyper Christians like a Wes Huff is pushing? Because that's really the reason why he wanted to battle Carson, because Carson is seen as an intellectual, seems like he has a lot of information, and if he could disprove a Wes Huff, I mean not a Wes Huff, a Billy Carson rather, he can, in his groups, he can go back and get that attaboy. You know what I mean? So what do you think about what I was just saying at home? And Brother Mozzie, you got the last word on this whole piece. What do you think of this hyper Christianity and the rallying to protect the, Anglo-Saxon Christian brand that you're going to get over the next 2 years as they ramp up all this Trump stuff?
And you notice that the article that you posted says how urban apologetics contend against the distortions promoted by Black consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're doing now is they're using language and they're cutting. They're playing chess, and the queen is being boxed in.
Yes, for sure.
With the language, because now I can't be conscious as a Black person.
Right.
because it means you're going to come with distortions. So even if, you know, we don't do, or certain things don't take place, what happens is it puts this stuff in the back of your mind, people's minds. So when you start talking about this, oh, you're one of those black conscious folks, huh? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. And then automatically turn off. They ain't listening to nothing you got to say. Even if you can show that it came from a white person.
Right. Right.
A well-respected white person.
Right. You can show them the Budges and the Bradleys and the whomevers, and they'll still say, but
nope. But that's that black conscious stuff, man. That's that black conscious stuff, man. That's that wokeness. And the sad thing is,
but here's the thing that we got to be careful of: all our kings and queens, gods and goddesses, earths, right?
Right.
If the culture likes this language that we promote that way, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it, then you got to be willing to defend it. Don't kowtow when it's time to defend it. Why do we call ourselves gods and goddesses, kings and queens? Why is
we
that?
act like devils.
Right. But why is that? Right. And then are we going to like let these folks get away with setting the tone for the language? I think more than anything else, that's the major part of this that we have to kind of swing haymakers on. We can't, if they come out with the nomenclature saying one thing, our slang got to go to work and come out with another piece of nomenclature against it. Because, you know, you'll get folks drinking the Kool-Aid real quick. Just make it sweet enough. They'll drink it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll drink it. Because there's already this viral video going around about how Billy Carson got embarrassed in that debate. And it's a lot of sisters who are preachers. Mm-hmm. And they're basically, you know, dancing and shucking and jiving over the fact that a brother got his hat handed to him in a debate over Christianity because they didn't want any of the things of Christianity that brother Billy Carson was talking about to be true. They don't want any of that to be true. Because nowadays, like I just said, there's a responsibility for acting on that information if it's true. If you are kings and queens and goddesses and goddesses, why aren't you acting like one?
Yeah. And what we have to understand too is what the lives and the livelihood, you're talking about what people subscribe to.
Yes.
And in America, we subscribe to one thing about quote unquote black folks in America in particular, two things. We love America and we love Christianity. I don't care how faulty it is. We love that. And we have an unfounded loyalty. Even if we're able to prove and show where it don't make sense.
Right.
Not that it's false, but that it don't make sense.
Right. Right.
And that, you know, and how America has been. I mean, we're confronted with that daily, with how America has not been good to us. But we can't see ourselves any other way. We can't see ourselves living any place else, and we can't see ourselves as any other thing but a Christian.
Crazy, man. Crazy. So, sisters, if you love calling yourself a queen, your queendom is being threatened right now because the context of why you were a queen is being challenged. And the reason why that is we say that we are from the original people who inhabited the planet and taught mathematics, science, culture, architecture, science, all of it to the Europeans who don it at the moment that we're speaking right now. And if you call yourself a king or a queen, you should be concerned about this sort of thing, not for the ad hominems, but for the fact that, you know, if you don't if you don't do the work of becoming vanguards for things like this, then anybody will tell you anything about who you are and what you're supposed to be.
But part of the problem too, though, is we don't have a strong belief in being Americans and being Christians. So when somebody like a Carson comes along, no one was trying to debate him, like you stated. None of these sisters stood up in front of him and said, no, bro, you wrong. Or just to have a general conversation about it. The guy, the white guy that he was talking with, they weren't really having a debate. Carson was spewing his usual stuff, and he was fact checking them. That's all that happened, really.
Yeah.
They weren't debating the issue because Carson knew that, oh shit, what did I just get myself into? So let me keep moving on. Let me keep moving on.
Exactly. And I don't know, you got to control those like scenes and environments as much as possible, especially if you are who he is. You know what I mean? You have to it's almost like when you have two teams playing and then the one team wants that home court advantage. You have to fight for those environment advantages because and control the way that those things are happening simply so you get a fair shake.
Right.
If you think about the Breakfast Club interviews and why those things go so poorly for the Breakfast Club hosts, is because they let someone else come into their territory and control the narrative. Whereas a Billy Carson walked into someone else's environment with them controlling the narrative. That white guy wasn't going to let Billy Carson walk out of there without 50 lashes. You have to know this. You have to know that these people are going to try to, it's a line that this is a lineup. As the young kids say, you just got lined up, bro.
And they were waiting. They were waiting patiently.
Yeah.
Same thing with Brother Polite. He went on for a long time, and then eventually, boom, and overnight, just like that, it was over. Now let's see how long before Billy Carson just becomes a thing of the past.
Oh man, that would be bad. Only because whether you like what he has to say, whether you like his brand of scholarship or not, he at least ignites the fire. He at least ignites the engine and the motivation to look stuff up, make you want to dig a little more, learn a little more, be a little bit more involved with the information that he's talking about. Whereas other folks would just, they're just depending on their 8, 9, 10 holidays a year for that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you're supposed to be indoctrinated by the Prussian school system to just go along with whatever's being told to you along the American paradigm. And you better get your meritocracy on, or you ain't gonna be no good. What are you talking about? Because if what Billy Carson is talking about has half the validity that he talks about, that would mean that meritocracy of America is right out of the window. Because that means it's a fixed game. That means it's, ponies are being, the pony that you betting on is fixed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got the last word on it, bro. Go ahead.
And he shouldn't have went in there and stayed on the religious piece about religious text. Because he know if all these books are suspect, somebody's going to be good at the suspect.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He should have went in there and started talking about the galaxies, which these folks don't know nothing about.
Yeah. Not only that, he could have went in there and talked about all the canonical conferences that happened over the last 1,000 years, and he could have talked about how Christianity is the baby of most modern religions. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you claim it? You can't claim it to be pure because it's the baby of most religions out here.
But so that goes to show you once again, today's a lot of our people today who are on these circuits and doing this talking, they are not that well schooled.
Yeah,
they got the weekend PhD.
Ooh.
They didn't get the grind for 7 years.
Say it ain't so, Billy Carson. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so that you got the street PhD from 125th Street and ran with it. Yeah, man. I think he'll make a comeback. But the way to make a comeback, bro, is not bragging about the bag, man. Don't brag about diamond floors and syrup biscuits and you know what I'm saying, marble walls.
And that's the other part.
That's the wrong way to go about it.
Well, his wife was out there. There was interviews with his wife that I saw,
Oh, really? Okay.
and Asian woman, and that she was the one holding it down for him. So now you got like that. Brothers can't even hold their own. It got to be somebody. See, that's why they don't want to be with no brother, because he need to have him some old so and so girl. And I'm like, oh boy. Then it's all the drama around that's going on. This brother, he needs to slow down, regroup, come back out.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He'll be all right.
The one I'm waiting to see that, but I'm glad to see he's a very astute and understand how all this stuff works. Riza Islam.
Yes.
Oh,
Somebody's waiting to challenge him too. He's the next
well,
one.
our boy Jesse Peterson tried to. Jesse Lee Peterson.
Oh yeah.
It didn't go the way he wanted.
No, it didn't.
Because he's a student.
No,
and he don't talk about. He
didn't.
don't go outside of his. This is what I know right here. You ain't gonna bring this other stuff in here because it has nothing to do with this right here.
Yeah, I think I saw the clip of him and Jesse going, kind of having their conversation. And Brother Reza was, how he does. He's like a machine gun with it. And then in the middle of him talking, he said, "Brother Jesse, pick up your lip." And Jesse picked up his lip. And then he kept going. And then he kept
I saw the whole
going.
interview. I saw the whole, and Jesse was like, "So the blacks," and and then the other thing is he wouldn't acknowledge what Jesse was trying to do.
Exactly.
Like, nah, bro, you got the wrong dude for this today, man.
Exactly. You messed around. You messed around and found out, like the young kids say. You done messed around and found out. Yeah, man. Hey, this was a great Real HD show. Thank you to Brother Mozzie. Thank you to Lady T. Thank you to Tony Rochester. Thank you to Brother Becker. Everybody that tuned into the show tonight. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Turn on all your notifications and make sure that you share. And please comment. Tell us what you liked about the show, what you didn't like about the show. And join us next time, man. So every time we have a show, we can have a higher discussion with you. I'm going to say peace, walk with power, and we will be back on Moon Day. All right, y'all. Peace.
Later.